and the he. It's holiday hangout office hours at clickmillionaires.com. Welcome to the holiday hangout. I'm Scott Fox, the host of clickmillionaires.com, the free internet lifestyle business coaching forum, and I'm here today to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you celebrate at your house. It's time for some of that. Well, at least in the next couple weeks anyway. So I hope that you're looking forward to that and have a lot of plans to be with your family and friends, or just by yourself, maybe get some extra work done. Whatever turns you on at Christmas is up to you, I guess, and we're happy to help. So today we're going to be talking about about you, about your questions that we've taken in from the Internet Lifestyle Business Forum that I host at clickmillionaires.com. We've got a bunch of questions we're going to be talking about: AdSense and online bookstores, online marketing campaigns, blogging. Have several different websites to review that we're going to do live through a screen share. I'm going to be talking about usability and redesign suggestions for those folks. And we'll be giving some prizes to anybody who wants to come in and ask a live question as well. So I've got some of my books and special reports to give away, some cool software, different things like that, all of which are available to you if you are smart enough to be tuning in to this show, the Click Millionaires Video Office Hours session, the special holiday hangout edition. So I hope that you're joining me here and that you've got some questions in mind. If you do, you can hop over into the chat room. Well, first of all, Google Plus is the place to see this broadcast live. If you're listening on Blog Talk Radio or iTunes, the podcast later, happy to have you, but sorry you missed the live show. Next time, come on over to clickmillionaires.com and you can join me live. The live broadcast is also on YouTube, or you can catch this later on YouTube as well on the Click Millionaires channel and review the video that we do here, so that especially if it's your, for example, you might want to review that later, and we're happy to have you do that if that's helpful to you. So today we're going to be talking about questions more specifically from folks who wrote in early and gave me a chance to think about this stuff a little bit. And these include people like Kim from Australia, and Jamie from New York, and Paul from Singapore, Sheila from Wisconsin, Brad from Michigan, a whole bunch of folks, and appreciate their interest and participation. And I'll be doing my best to help them here over the next hour or so here as part of our holiday hangout. So ho, 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 let's get a move on. So, well, wait a minute, let me back up a second. If you're new to this, clickmillionaires.com is the place that offers free lifestyle business coaching. And this means coaching for you, from me, from our thousands of members from around the world. And we're basically trying to help you figure out how to make your way online. And why do I do this? I don't make any money at it, I have to admit. This forum was started after my third book came out a couple years ago, called Click Millionaires. And Click Millionaires is a bestseller. It's been translated into a bunch of different languages. Let's see, here's the book for those of you who haven't seen it. That's Click Millionaires, and that's in all your finer bookstores, Amazon.com, etc., etc. And if you're in Japan, here's the Japanese edition, and here's the Russian edition. This has been quite a popular book, and opening the eyes of a lot of people around the world to, well, to alternatives, to other ways of living and working that don't involve necessarily going to the office every day. And that's the kind of life that I've built for myself, and I've been trying for years to help other people realize that the internet can help you do that too. So I started this forum. It's a very friendly place. We have a lot of friendly folks, including a bunch of the folks watching this afternoon. And those folks are happy to help you, as am I, to get your lifestyle business off the ground. You don't have to be a technical whiz. You don't even have to have a website. We will try to help you figure this out. Now, there's no guarantees of success. The idea behind Click Millionaires is not necessarily the millionaire part. It's the idea that you can take control of your life, that being a millionaire means that you have independence, you have security, you have flexibility and creativity in the work that you choose to do. And that's where the click comes in. By using the internet, I think you can live more like a millionaire. Even if you don't make $1 million, you can choose something that interests you and that helps other people too. And that's what the Click Millionaires books, podcasts, the forum, these video office hours, all these things are about, is helping you help others, and in that return helps you some more. It's a virtuous cycle if you get it working correctly, and that's what we're doing even here today in our holiday hangout. So ho, 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 and hopefully this will be helpful to you. So if that sounds good to you, then go to millionaires.com. And oh, by the way, I'm not there all the time. I spend more of my time in our Masterminds forum. A Masterminds forum is an upgraded level that's not free. It's only $39 a month, but that way you get directly with me, and it's a smaller group, and we really help people accelerate their businesses and figure out what's going on that that can really help them make their lives more click millionaire-ish, I guess you would say. So let's talk about some of these questions here. And hello to those of you who are watching. I can see Sheila over here and a bunch of other folks tuning in from around the world. Looking forward to questions from you guys. If you want to raise a hand or type into the chat room in the Google Plus window, you can do that either way. And we'll get through these questions and some site reviews here as well. So let's start out with a question from Kimberly. Kimberly lives in Australia, and she had a question about AdSense, and it's a pretty basic one, and we do a lot of basic work at clickmillionaires.com. I guess that's one of the reasons I have this forum, is that I think that there aren't enough place for beginners to ask questions where they don't get made fun of or get made to feel stupid. The internet is a big and complicated place, perhaps more now even than 10 years ago when I started writing books. And it's kind of hard to find a place where you can get a straight answer with a smile that doesn't cost like a $5,000 special video course or something, but just a simple question. And that's what we do at video office hours now and during the forum, during all hours of the day and night. And this is the kind of question Kim has, and most of our questions today are fairly introductory, but the implementation, well, the devil's in the details. So let's get into it. How does a person get AdSense onto their site? Well, that might be pretty basic for a lot of you, but this is a question we actually get quite a lot at clickmillionaires.com. AdSense is Google's online monetization program for publishers. So if you have a website, you can join AdSense and copy some of their code onto your page, and then whenever people see that code appear on your page, it will generate ads. When they click on those ads, you get paid. So it's called pay-per-click advertising, but you're the publisher in this case. So when people click on the Google ads that you've installed, you get paid, and the payments can be a penny, a nickel, 50 cents, $1, $5. They can be real money, and especially if you have any traffic, they can add up to real money. I've been making thousands of dollars a month for many years through AdSense because of the different sites that I run, and people visit those sites and click on the ads. And it's a very easy way to make money. Not necessarily a lot of it unless you have a lot of traffic, but it's really easy. So the specifics Kim is digging at here is how does a person get AdSense onto their site? So Kim, I think this is not rocket science. You have to sign up. It's free. You go to AdSense, go to Google, and sign up for a free account. When you do that, you will enter your name and location and address and payment details like that. And then you will be allowed to pick some ads. You will decide whether you want, say, 728 by 90 leaderboards. Those are the kind of wide, skinny ones, or the skyscrapers, 160 by 300 ads that are more like this, or boxes like this. Basically, you can pick the shape you want, and then you copy some code, and it's usually, I don't know, 8 or 10 lines of HTML, and you go to your website into either the sidebar or the page where you want to put that ad, and you go into the edit source, not the visual side, but the actual code, and paste it. Just like you were in a Word document, copying and pasting a couple sentences. Then you hit save, and it will take maybe a few hours for AdSense to realize that you have put that on your page, and then it will start putting ads in there. And then the magic happens, which is that AdSense will actually review your website and decide what your site's about and show ads that are appropriate to your audience. So if your website is all about lawn furniture, then you'll have a bunch of ads about lawn furniture and other topics that Google has decided that people who are interested in lawn furniture usually like to see. So you might actually end up seeing some ads for, I don't know, travel or cars or something that it doesn't seem obvious, but Google has this vast database of consumer behavior. And if they figure out, well, Kim's website looks like it's about lawn furniture because we see these keywords and these articles and these posts, okay. All right, well, we'll show them some lawn furniture ads plus this other stuff. And they make money and you make money the more that people click on those ads. That's how it works. Now, the hesitation, and maybe where your question's coming from, is that sometimes Google gets picky. So if your site is brand new, it isn't designed yet, you don't have any traffic at all, they might deny you and say that you can't come in. But if you have a site that is up with that's published publishing materials, looks professional, and has some sort of focus to it, especially. You know, you don't just talking about all kinds of random stuff, but you're focused on your lawn furniture or whatever it is, they're probably going to approve you. And some copy and paste, and you can be an AdSense publisher making money as well. So there we go. It's one down. That's for Kim. Hopefully that made sense, Kim, and anybody else that's interested in getting started with AdSense pay-per-clicks. Anybody that's watching can type in the chat room or come in by webcam as well if you'd like, and we'll dig into that more deeply for you. And of course, the forum's open 24/7 if you want to follow up with that. Okay? So there we go. Thank you, Kim. Next up, let's talk about well, let's do it. Would you like to do a website review? Maybe we should do a website review. That's kind of fun. You get to actually look at a website with me, and we'll talk about what could be better. This is often interesting for people who are new to website design or to usability, what they call the science of making a website usable, and especially to e-commerce design, because a lot of designers are more graphics people rather than business people. And if you are following the Click Millionaires philosophies that I espouse, hobby websites are great, but we're here to make some money. So if you want to make some money, e-commerce design is a different sort of challenge and one that I would recommend. So let's try this. Let's see if we can go over to Jamie's website. Jamie is the proprietor of a website called theonlineentrepreneur.com. Now let's see here if I can do this right without breaking the system. Google Hangouts. Let's see, that looks like it there. Let's see. Now, how does that look to you guys? Can you see that? It looks like, I think you can. Yes, does that look good? All right, so there we've got the, what's it called again? Let's see, theonlineentrepreneur.com. Okay, so this is the website of clickmillionaires.com member Jamie Clay. And she had a simple question, which was, how do I make it better? So usually when I do a website review, we have a little more in-depth discussion. In fact, I run a service at expertwebsitereviews.com where I do full like 20-minute reviews of people's sites, and they fill out a form with specific questions, and we get all into the strategy and all kinds of stuff. And that service is at expertwebsitereviews.com. I think it's $99, something like that. Anyway, or if you join the Masterminds forum that I mentioned before at mastermindsforum.com, we'll do one for you for free. But anyways, let's talk about Jamie's website. So Jamie is, and this URL, by the way, in case you want to look at it yourself, is theonlineentrepreneur.com. Theonlineentrepreneur.com. So pretty good domain there, very clear what the site is about. So let's talk about how Jamie can improve it. Okay, Jamie. Well, first of all, this is set up as a blog, and this leads to a question that my friend Sheila has later that we'll talk about later in the session about blog homepages versus static homepages. Clearly, Jamie here is opting for the blog format because she has one post here, another post here, and there is sequential order. The site is pretty clean and not too crowded, which is better than a lot of sites we look at, of course. We'll give credit to, it looks like Mr. Stone Evans here. And it looks like maybe one of these sites here, this plug-in profit that she's pitching here. So what should we do to make it better? Well, first of all, it's not real personal, Jamie. It looks like this is his site, and I don't think that's the case because I've seen your photo on clickmillionaires.com, and at least the avatar you're using there, you look like an African-American woman, which is not him. So I'd like to see you. If you have ideas, I'd like to know the source of those ideas, and hopefully you're not just recycling other people's ideas. You have some ideas of your own and some success to lean on in explaining them. Next, I sure wonder what this number is here. That's kind of distracting, so I would get rid of that. Your tagline here is tiny. I can't really read it. But most of all, I'd like to see some sort of personality here. Your photo, a logo, some sort of mascot or personality, something that says, hey, this is Jamie's place, Jamie's an expert, and here's how Jamie can help me. And that's what I'm not seeing here. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff, all relevant, but not about what's in it for me and why Jamie's the one to give it to me. Unfortunately, Jamie, you've picked a space that is super crowded. I mean, entrepreneurship ideas is a pretty old idea. I mean, literally, I wrote my first book about it in 2004. Okay, so there's a lot of us who've been doing this for literally 10 years already, and you've picked one of the most saturated areas. Pretty hard to get traction in this area, I think, these days, especially if you don't have some personality of your own. Now, maybe that's explained more in these blog posts, which we don't have time to get into today. But if it is, you need to find some of that and surface it up, put it up on the home page. Next, I'd say you have too many things in your little tiny menu here, and you need to figure out what it is you want the person to do. That's the main problem, and Sheila, this goes to your question as well. The main problem with a blog layout is that it's designed to share a bunch of different information at the same time, usually in chronological order. That's totally useful if you and your audience is looking for a bunch of chronological information presented in that order, right? That's a good thing. But if you're trying to sell stuff, that's not actually what people are looking for, right? They're looking for a certain set of information or a certain type of product or service, and it's up to you to get them on their way to that as quickly as possible. So I would suggest, Jamie, that you, well, let's go back to the site here. I would suggest that, first of all, you need a different strategy. You need some way to differentiate yourself. This site is nice, or nice enough, but it's not going to make you a lot of money because there's thousands of other sites like this. You need to figure out what it is you can offer and what you want people to do. The one thing I know you want people to do, obviously you want people to click on this ad, but that's not going to build you a long-term business. You're handing your business over to whatever this affiliate is. What you really want is this one. When you have it on your homepage, you're doing better than a lot of folks. You have a cool graphic here, and here's this this graphic about how to get this ebook from you. That's cool. I would put that up top. Move that up here, because the number one thing you want, if anybody finds you in the very crowded online entrepreneurship space, is you want them to give you their email address so you can keep in touch. And then you can offer additional information and follow up and build a relationship that does differentiate you so they learn to trust you and want to buy things from you. Let's see, what else? So you've got a mission here. Good stuff. A lot of this it looks like the whole site is basically driven by affiliates, and that's not enough to get traction anymore, I don't think. So I would try to personalize it and offer something other than repurposed affiliate information from this plug-in profit site. It's also kind of old. You know, business ideas for 2014. It's now almost 2015, so this needs to be updated, obviously. But in general, I think I would try to make this homepage over around you, what's unique about you. Put the email collection facility up top, and then narrow down all these things you have for people to do and pick the thing that is most important to Jamie in terms of Jamie building her business or making money or helping people, and ideally all three at once. All right, so I hope that is useful, and that is thanks to Jamie Clay for sharing her site, and that's called theonlineentrepreneur.com if you would like to go check it out. All right, what's next? Anybody watching us want to come into the chat? Looks like most of you are watching over on YouTube today because I don't see that many in the live session. And that's fine if that's where you want to watch. But if you have a question and you'd like to come in live, we've got prizes for people that ask questions live, and they are available over on Google+. So come on over to Google+. All right, up next, let's talk about, let's see. Well, let's talk about Sheila's question. Sheila is here with us. And Sheila, do you want to talk through your question yourself, or would you like me to do it? Up to you. You can just raise your hand. All right. Go ahead. Yeah. Nice to see you. Happy holidays.
Nice hat.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering if a static page is better than a blog format page. I have a blog, so that's getting a little confusing for me, but I'm not sure that many people are clicking on the nav bar, so I'm trying to weigh if I should switch to a static homepage.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's a a common issue as people evolve, and that's a very cool question to have coming from you, Sheila, because Sheila's been a member of our forums for, it's been 2 years maybe? It's been a while now, and it come from nothing, right? Sheila was brand new. Now she has these more advanced questions, and this is exactly what I would be hoping for you, Sheila, because you're discovering the problem with blogs. And that is exactly what we were just talking about with Jamie, is they're designed to present information in a chronological way, and that probably doesn't match your goals as an online, essentially an online salesperson. You're trying to make some money. You want to drive your traffic towards an email list, towards ads, or towards purchases. And if all your blog posts only do that, people are going to stop reading your blog, right? So there's this inherent tension between the way blogs are laid out and the way actual sales sites are laid out. And you want to be somewhere in between, because the other extreme is a full-on store, like an Amazon.com store, and all they present is products, and that's not very interesting either necessarily. Plus, you need a lot of products to make it interesting, right? So most online entrepreneurs, especially bloggers who are trying to turn their blogs into a business, are exactly where you are, Sheila. So it's a great question. Thank you for asking it. So now, here's the answer. The answer is somewhere in between. Your homepage, I think, actually does. I don't think a blog format is a good homepage. That's the short answer. If you're trying to accomplish any of the goals that an entrepreneur usually has, which, as I said a minute ago, again, are building a list, getting people to click on ads, or selling things. None of those fit very well with a chronological presentation of blog posts. So that pushes you towards a static homepage, and that's what I do on my blogs, my different sites too. I did the same evolution you're doing, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 years ago or something, because I was one of the early bloggers and kind of figured this stuff out, and I realized I kept blogging, and that would bring people in, but it didn't necessarily make them buy whatever it was I was selling. So I would suggest a kind of a mixed bag, a homepage that is really focused on your top 3 goals, which are probably, for the third time, one of those things, right? Building the lists, clicking on ads, or selling items. And maybe you'd add a fourth, which is exploring around and getting to know you better. That's a legitimate goal also, but not necessarily one that leads to immediate cash. So a homepage these days, I think, for a blog is a combination of static modules, which are oriented around those 3 top hierarchical goals, plus some regularly refreshed posts or content or images from your blog, so that the homepage isn't always the same either. Ideally, that's done automatically. So there's some sort of, for example, let's say 3 images, one that says get my free ebook, one that says buy this super cool thing, and the other which is maybe some affiliate ad or AdSense ad that you make money from. Those could kind of be static, but just beneath that, or in the sidebars, or you could switch these, is regularly updated stuff, essentially from the RSS feed of your blog, your latest blog posts. What's hot now? What's new? Because that's what people always want. Even if you sell them the exactly same thing, if you just say it's new and improved, people will open the email more. We're all just wired that way. We want the new thing. And a combination of those 2 approaches, I think, is what you're after. Your main goals should be sort of the framework or the infrastructure of the page, and then the decorations, the sizzle, should be what's new, what's hot, that is cycled. It can even be rotated. It could be the same 8 things that just refresh automatically. That's another way to do it. But it's either refreshed automatically or it's refreshed for real with new content that you add on a regular basis, probably driven by posts on your blog. So did that answer the question? Did that make sense, Sheila?
It does, but I'm having a little bit of trouble visualizing what you mean. So I know, because I know you don't want big pictures up there,
right,
above the fold. So
I guess I mean small pictures. So like
you mean like 3 in a row or something like that?
Yeah, like three across. I mean, it's very common, and you'll see this on a lot of sites. I'm trying to find a piece of paper here. It's not uncommon at all. Let me get a pen that you can see. To have a site like this, right? You'll have a header,
yeah,
and then have 3 sort of your static main objectives. So this might be the buy this and click on this ad, and this might be the email.
Okay.
And you'd have your either one blog post this way, or maybe just headlines from blog posts, something like that. But the point is, this stuff is new. This is not. and this gets this. So this is kind of like an additional header almost. Get your main points across, but it keeps the site refreshed like this. And like I said, you could flip the order of these. You could put them in the sidebars, whatever. But in terms of space, like they call this a wireframe. In a wireframe where you're just drawing wires, you generally would have this, and then maybe you'd have a menu here, or the menu might be down the side here, or something like that. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Right.
I'm going to come in and get more help with that, but that gives me a great starting point to start looking at some different sites and seeing what I could maybe change mine to be then.
Yes, great idea. That's exactly the thing to do. A lot of people, especially people with design background, they kind of want to start from scratch and just create something cool. And those sites are almost always not functional. Basically, they're too cool. The best thing to do is just what you said. There's a library of 1 billion websites out there with other entrepreneurs iterating on this stuff constantly. Many or even most of whom have been at it for much longer with you than you have, and often with multi-million-dollar budgets. This is not rocket science. There's only so much space. How many different ways can you arrange the squares, right? I mean, so yeah, I would look at some other sites that you like and see how they work, and mimic those. That's exactly the right thing to do. The other thing I would say, though, is also as important as this is, and it absolutely is important because your homepage needs to be good. But don't forget, and I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying this to our general audience, at least probably 40%, and often even much higher percentage than that, of your traffic never sees your homepage. Many, many, many people, especially if you've been publishing for a while in a blog format, you have lots of posts about all kinds of things, all of which, of course, you wrote perfectly to be search engine optimized for various keywords. That's what people are finding, and they're coming into your site from all different, through the windows and doors and the back door and the attic, and they're all coming through into your house in different ways, and many of them never see the front door, which is the homepage. So as much as you want to get the homepage right, and you absolutely should, also consider the fact that people are coming from all other ways, so that when you think about this kind of structure on the homepage, my high-tech drawing here, make sure that this middle part is probably all going to be replaced, right, on interior pages. But this, your header and whatever sidebars you have, are probably carried through on the interior pages.
Yes.
So make sure that whatever your goals were for the homepage, primarily these 3 boxes, are continued also on the interior pages when this bit is replaced.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, I hope that's a good point, and I hadn't talked about that for a while. So thank you, as usual, Sheila. It's great to see you, and happy holidays. And I think Sheila deserves the award. Anybody who's looking at this, look at Sheila's mantelpiece. She definitely deserves the award for the most beautiful collection of nutcrackers. Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
My son decorated that, so.
Your son did. Nice. Well,
yeah.
Nice job. Nice job to your son. All right. looking very Christmassy. All right. Well, thanks for being here, Sheila. All right. So let's keep moving along here. What is next? We'll keep going to. Let's see. Well, let's look at another website. We've got Paul, one of our very friendly active members, Lo Po On, aka Paul from Singapore. He is a very active member on the site, and he has a website. We recently did a website tune-up community clinic on this site, and he sells souvenirs. And these are souvenirs from the Singaporean tourist trade, as far as I can gather. And he redesigned his site recently, and we're going to take a look at that, if I can get this magic button to work. All right, let's try that. All right. So, LLPO Souvenirs Enterprise. So this is Paul's website, like I said, and he says up here, you can see it scrolling, we're back with a new site design. Now, this is fairly simple. Paul's obviously going to keep building on this, but it is much clearer than the previous version, so nice work, Paul. Definite progress in terms of making it clear what the site is about. So let's look around a little bit. Well, pretty empty so far, so I think you're probably still underway to be adding some things. I like the fact that you've prioritized the email address. That is still a hot topic for any online entrepreneur. You've got a site search, which I don't have time to dig into now, but hopefully that's useful. It would probably be useful to provide some more information here right on the home page. What I noticed when I looked around, Paul, is that you've got these nice pictures now, but these are just pop-ups. So like if I click on this, we get a pop-up of these bus tickets, which I gather is something that you are selling. But the reason I say I gather that is it's not clear. You've made kind of what we call a splash page. A splash page is a page that just pops up and kind of says welcome, but doesn't actually do anything. Your actual business is, well, it's not there. That's more of an About Us page. It's over here. There it is. Okay. List of souvenirs. So you're selling, it's quite an interesting collection, things that you don't see often here in the States, like bus tickets from Singapore, last traded in 1964. So that's a pretty rare item, I would think, and not the sort of thing we typically see on eBay here in the States. So interesting inventory you have here, matchboxes, Chinese sculptures, and so forth. Interesting stuff. But my point is, Paul, if you want to sell this stuff, and I would caution anybody, he's not actually asking $9,000 for this. This is Singapore dollars. It's a little different exchange rate. But I would move some of this stuff right out to the home page. One of the hallmarks of good usability is to reduce the number of clicks that people have when they are visiting your website. So unfortunately on this site you come and you've got, I like this graphic, it's very nice and very Singaporean, but it doesn't let me do anything, right, as a visitor. You want people to do something right away. So at a minimum I would change this link, which is now linking just to a pop-up of this graphic, to this page here, the list of souvenirs page. And even better, I'd love to see some of these souvenirs actually sitting out here on the home page. And with just maybe this welcome to LPO Souvenirs Enterprise, enjoy your stay, at the top of a page. Nope, sorry, not that one. This one that looked more like this, so that it actually looked a bit more like a store. If you're trying to sell things, the more store-like it looks, the more likely people are going to buy things. But regardless of that, I hope that's helpful. And the progress you've made since last time is clear and obvious, so I think you're on the right track. And I look forward to seeing more progress on the site in the future that makes, again, surfaces. You don't want to hide your products 2 or 3 clicks in if they could be up on the home page. I think that would lead to more sales for you, and that is our goal as Click Millionaires. All right, so ho, ho, ho. We're about halfway through our show. And thanks again to Paul. Paul is a repeat Community Star winner. He's very active in our forum, and we appreciate your help, Paul, all year round in terms of helping other people and being generally very positive and friendly and sharing a lot of information and goodwill with all our members. So thanks, Paul. Thanks for that. All right, next up, let's take a look at, let's see here. Let's take a look at our next question, which would be, let's see here. How to get a bookstore operating. Okay, how to get a bookstore operating. Well, that's an interesting question. There's many levels of bookstores, and a bookstore here would be, this is for Jonathan, a bookstore, the simplest way, well, let me start at the top. Fancy bookstore is, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in a custom store platform. Okay, I don't think we're talking about that. Medium storefront is not unique to books. If you're going to sell books, you can sell anything else. So I would be looking, Jonathan, at platforms like BigCommerce.com or Shopify.com, Yahoo Stores. There are lots and lots of shopping cart systems out there. If you Google online shopping cart, you'll find definitely hundreds, perhaps thousands of competitors. The biggest one that I've been recommending lately is called BigCommerce.com, and they actually took over for Magento, which was a big open source, very popular platform that got bought by eBay, and they've hived off their small business arm and now they're focusing just on enterprise now, but they're focusing, they're recommending for small business customers to go to BigCommerce, and BigCommerce is an Australian company, but they've raised, I think I saw their 3rd venture capital round a couple weeks ago, so they've raised a bunch of money. They don't seem to be going anywhere, and it seemed like a pretty good system that I would recommend for you. More specifically for books, there are systems, Jonathan, within Amazon.com that can help you merchandise books very cost effectively and in fact for free. Now, I haven't looked at this lately, but there are, as an affiliate for Amazon, and although Amazon, this is kind of funny, Amazon.com invented the concept of affiliate programs, at least as far as I recall, but they don't call them affiliates, they call them associates. So Amazon Associates is their affiliate program. If you go into Amazon Associates, they have lots of tools that will help you sell books on your own website or anywhere else for that matter. You can create links that contain your affiliate tracking code, and you can paste those all over the web and get commissions when people click on them to buy the goods. In between that just simple link for a specific book and the full-on store, like a big commerce store, are these tools that Amazon Associates offers you, which range from a lot of different widgets, which are essentially little pieces of code, and you can pick 3 or 5 or 10 specific books to showcase, or even a category of books, like the latest bestsellers in farm equipment or whatever it is you're into. And you can copy that code and paste it on your website so that it becomes a little embedded bookstore on your site. It's essentially a bunch of affiliate ads, but it's populated with a live feed with current prices and current book covers, with all the associated rights that you need for those postings, all right on your website. Those are all as a part of Amazon Associates. They used to, and I think they still do, I just haven't looked lately, so you'd have to check. They had a service called A-Stores, and I think they changed the name of it, but I can't recall offhand what they call it now. But it used to be called A-Stores, and this was literally a modularly built website that showcases books. You can build your own little store on Amazon.com and stock it with just the books or anything. It doesn't have to be books. It can be farm equipment or shoes or clothes, or they even have food now, right? So anything you want, you can build your own little store on Amazon.com, and all the products in there contain your affiliate link. So if you then promote that store to your friends, neighbors, your email list, whatever, and they buy those things, you get a percentage. That's a very handy little tool. There's a demonstration of this, one that I built several years ago. If you go to MillionaireLibrary.com, MillionaireLibrary.com. Actually, since we're doing this together live today, let's make sure that still exists. It's been a while since I looked at it. Let me just see here. Yeah, okay, here. Let's look at this together for a second. So this, I built this a while ago, like I said. This is not sexy and beautiful and up to date, but this is literally hosted by Amazon. You can actually, I don't know, can you see in the share up in the, maybe, yeah, okay, you can see the address bar, astore.amazon.com, right? So this is literally on Amazon.com. My favorite books, of course, leading with my own 3 books, and then a bunch of the books that influenced me before I got started writing. And you can do multiple pages. See, here's another page of books that I recommend. And you can even add a few links over to other people or other places. Like you see, this links back to our Click Millionaires forum over here. So this is all, you see, says powered by Amazon. This is literally free from them. You can build this yourself and share it with anybody you'd like, and then you will have a bookstore. And you could do this, I mean, literally in like an hour. All of this I wrote myself, so it allows you to customize the headers and footers. These little reviews of each book, I explain why I recommended each one, and this is the sort of thing that I would recommend to you, Jonathan, if you are interested in building a bookstore. You could get up and going literally in an hour. You don't have to carry any inventory. You don't have to spend any money, really, and it can put you in the bookstore business very quickly, and then you can at least test to see if anybody cares. This is the kind of minimum viable product or lightweight testing that I really recommend to all of you. Try something easy just to see if anybody cares. Because what I don't want to see any of you doing is taking a bunch of time, a bunch of money, and investing it in some idea you have, building something custom, and then it turns out either nobody cares or maybe they do care, but you're out of time, money, and especially enthusiasm. You don't have any more energy to market the thing. You spend all your time playing with your toys in the corner and you build a cool little castle, and then time runs out and you don't tell anybody that you had this castle that they should come and visit. It's much more important for you to figure out if customers care and to get out there and tell them so that they have a chance to care. That's what I would like to see you do. And this sort of quick solution with this free store is a way to do that. You can build this store in an hour, Then spend the other 100 hours or $100 or whatever you had in mind on getting out there and mixing it up with actual customers. One more tip for you before we leave this topic. A really good idea, I think, is to not hand out that ugly URL that I showed you a second ago. It's amazon.com/this XYZ-378, whatever. It's impossible for people to remember. Here's a trick. Go to GoDaddy.com or whoever your favorite domain name registrar is and buy a domain name that reflects your concept. And then just forward that domain to that site. And that's what you saw me do. I don't know if you noticed that, but when we went to this website, I didn't type in amazon.com // blah, 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 blah. I typed in millionairelibrary.com. That's a pretty good URL, right? I bought that one a long time ago, and I just forward that over there, and that way it's easy. So if you're going to be marketing something like this, buy a URL, bestscubadivingbooks.com or whatever it is, and forward that, and that will make your marketing a lot more effective and a lot more easy for your customers to remember in the future so they can come back and buy from you again. And then if it all works out, then go build a full-on store, and we'll talk more about that in the forum, or come upgrade to our Masterminds forum or whatever, and we'll help you out figure out how to do it for real. But this is a great lightweight way to get started, and that's how I would build a bookstore in 2015 if I were you. All right? Hope that's helpful to you, Jonathan. Okay, so ho, 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 we're on our way here through the Christmas celebration, and let's see. All right, let's talk about, looks like we are getting, wow, we're 40 minutes in already. Okay, well, let's do one more website review, and if anybody else has a question, please let me know. Come on in, and let's go take a look at harmonyhollow.com. This is another website that was submitted via Google Plus by one of our members, harmonyhollow.com. Let's see Harmony Hollow. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Let's share that with you. This is a site. This is an interesting mix of sites we had today, huh? We had an entrepreneurship site, a Singaporean tourist souvenirs site, and here we're looking at a bell works. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a bell works, but here it is. Here we're looking at our first ever bell works on the Click Millionaires show, and this is the Harmony Hollow bell works. The proprietor is Bradley Cross. Thank you, Bradley, for writing in and saying hello and happy holidays. And let's talk about your website. He wanted to know what he could do to sell more wedding bells, or all kinds of bells, not just wedding bells, but all kinds of bells. So, what do we think here? And let's see. Well, it's pretty busy, right? We've got a lot of words on some very fine print, a lot of offerings, none of which are underlined, so you're there are no visible links on the page. Bradley, and this is a pet peeve of mine. It's not necessarily something that you have to agree with, and I'm sure that there's going to be designers listening to this that are going to scream when I say this, but I like to know where the links are. I'm old-fashioned. I like to be able to see a link without having to roll my cursor all over the place and find the links. This idea of hiding things until you roll over it bugs the crap out of me. I want to know what I'm getting. I don't get it. I think it's poor usability. It's designers being overly clever. Why hide what you want people to click on? I just think it's stupid. I've been having this war with designers for years, and I usually lose, but I'm going to stand by it. so there you go. Let's see. Now let's go back to the. That was my mini rant there. Sorry. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Okay. So Bradley, I would like to see, first of all. See, now here, I can see that rolls. Oh, it's a link. What do you know? And over here, see, these are not links. So these see, these change color. See, that's not even consistent. And then these don't link at all. These don't have links at all, right? Even though this says chimes and this says spinners and this goes to a garden page. I don't know why those aren't linked. And this is not particularly for you, Bradley. I'm saying this to the whole internet. Please, don't hide the links. Okay, moving on. I think there's too much stuff here. Bradley, I would go back to the earlier part of this session and listen to what I said a couple times to Sheila and to Jamie and to Paul, and think about what are the 3 things that you want to do. I don't think that PayPal credit is the #1 thing that you want to be selling people, but that is exactly where my eye goes. Again, I don't know that you want to be driving towards credit cards. You are This is valuable space, and the number one thing you're doing on the site, as far as I can tell, is promoting Facebook, PayPal, and Visa. Not the number one prescription for how to make money. Okay, next. Like I said, you've done all this for search engine optimization reasons. Okay, I can kind of buy that, but I sure would like to see all these linked. If you're going to do that, this wedding should link to the wedding page. Graduation should link to the graduation page. The search engine optimization is a much longer discussion, but I really encourage you to come back into the forum at clickmillionaires.com and to you've got a real business here. Why don't you come into the Masterminds forum and we'll really talk through this. I think we could really be helpful to you. Then the menu is very small. I like this idea of a 350-year guarantee. We don't have time today to get into that, but it's clever. I would give that some space. And then most importantly, I don't see, again, my number one every time. I bet you Sheila could guess what I'm going to say. I don't see the email collector. The email collector. How are you going to build your business if all you're doing is sending people to a checkout and promoting PayPal? You want to build your list. Now, you've been doing this for a long time. I read your About Us page. Actually, it started by your dad in 1969. So you've been doing this fine for a long time, but I gather that most of your business is through art fairs. You exhibited a lot of art fairs, and that's very cool. But if you want to make money online, I would really recommend that you do two things. One is get that email collector up there, because your email list is your retirement fund. It's your retirement fund, Bradley. If you want to stop having to drive around the country with a van full of bells, collect those email addresses. Okay, the second thing is you should go join artfairinsiders.com. Artfairinsiders.com. Maybe that's where you heard about me, because I've done a lot of reviews for artists over there, and you could watch other reviews like this that would give you other ideas on art websites and how to exhibit all these beautiful visuals that you have. By the way, expertwebsitereviews.com is the service where I do this. I mentioned it earlier, but we have a blog there with a whole bunch of examples, expertwebsitereviews.com, and those will show you all a lot of the previous videos that we've done. All right, so what should Bradley do? Okay, enough complaining, right? Well, first of all, get the email address up there. Let's see that these are actually links. Get rid of all these ads for other services. Summer is long since over, so you might want to update this. Maybe you do most of your business by phone, but I would get an email address up there as well. Why not? It can't hurt you. People calling on the phone is very old school. I know that the artist community is still kind of trapped in the 70s somehow, but those of us who are online a lot, I would much rather just do this and click through. I'm never going to call you unless something's wrong, in which case you probably don't want to hear from me. So I would focus on a page like this. Sheila, this is a bit of an example of like 3 small images. Bradley, I'd like to see something like this on your homepage. One of these would be your email collector. Another would be maybe the current special or some hot thing. And the other would maybe lead to more of a categories sort of page. I'd like it to be a lot clearer, that you don't have to have an ordering info page. This is not rocket science anymore. That's a page I would hope you could maybe even get rid of. I'm not sure what all this is about, but apparently it's important to your business, but it's an awful lot of text. And that, I think, goes for most of your site, Bradley. Lots and lots of text. Look at all this talking. And maybe that's important, but my guess is that you are like me in the sense that you write something and it makes so much sense to you, you can't bear to get rid of it. I would be the first to accuse myself of this as well, which is why my books are professionally edited, so they cut a lot of my crap out. But you need to do that some too. This is lots and lots of talking that I would much rather see a lot more pictures. And here's my my ultimate recommendation for you. You're using a PayPal cart here. I don't know if you can see that in the share. Okay, well that's not good. This didn't pop up for you, but there's an error. I clicked on that show cart, and there's actually an error that popped up. You need to check that, Bradley, because it's literally not working. A pop-up from PayPal that says the site is not working, and I did that by clicking this checkout button. Anyway, what I'd like to see from you is examples. All right, all of these things, too many words. Again, you need pictures. Your sell is visual. Even if it makes this, you've done a good job, I think, of keeping the site not very tall. Somebody got a hold of you and said keep everything above the fold, and you almost did, which is great. But I think you'd be fine if the first part is interesting and you had some beautiful pictures up here. You could do, I would pick 1 or 2 examples of each and every one of these categories and showcase them out here. These are really pretty things, right? But they're so buried. Like, how can I actually see a picture of this thing? And it's QuickTime. Okay, how's that for unattractive, right? Your QuickTime player is out of date. Well, that's me because I don't use QuickTime much. But again, by using QuickTime, you are really reducing your audience. And I think you're probably a Mac guy, so you think everybody has QuickTime. That's not the case. So what would I do? Let's cut to the chase. Let's get this over with before I beat you up anymore. What you need, Bradley, is to move to a store platform. BigCommerce is the one I talked about earlier, Shopify.com, something like that. I gather you've probably coded this site yourself, which is impressive, but this is kind of old school. This site is cutting edge for about 2006, and if you want to make some money on this, it's going to cost a little money. But if you host with BigCommerce or Shopify or somebody like that, it's going to cost you maybe 20, maybe 50 bucks a month. And I know a lot of people, especially artists, say, oh, I don't want to pay that money forever. You will make it up and increase sales. I can't guarantee it, obviously. I'm not in charge of your business. But I would invest that in a real store and make this look like a site that modern people want to use. Your work is beautiful. You don't need to have a cutting-edge site that's going to wow all the techies in the world, but you do need something that looks like a store, that showcases all this beautiful art you have right on the front page. Images like this should be on the front page with buy buttons right next to them. So even this page, it doesn't say buy anywhere. You don't have a call to action. You need a store platform because then you can just put all your pictures in, and it will, you can decorate around the edges. Sorry, you can't see that, can you? Hold on, let me give you that demonstration. Here. So look, these nice pictures you have, right? These are beautiful images. This sort of stuff should be on the home page, not buried deep inside the site. And look at these. You have this video. Yeah, cool stuff, right? But these are cool, and they're mesmerizing. And this kind of stuff should be on the home page, not hidden in all these little silos that you have. Yeah, see this? Like stuff like this should be on the home page, and it doesn't even say buy anywhere. This little tiny add to cart in a button that is mostly advertising PayPal. It doesn't even say buy. So if this was in a store platform, it will be a pain for you to do that. I understand. It will be a pain for you to move your stuff over to a store, but it's what you need to do. It's what modern websites do, and it will increase your sales. I pretty much promise you, and I hope that makes sense to you. And if you'd like to talk about it more, of course, the clickmillionaires.com forum is open anytime, and we can get into more details. I'm not just trying to beat you up. You've done a great job of surviving since 1969. Clearly, you know what you're doing. And the advice we could give you at clickmillionaires.com is free, or upgrade to the Masterminds forum, and I'll work with you personally. We'll figure out how to get your website up to the next level. You've got good stuff. Why not show it off? All right, there we go. My voice is almost gone, and it looks like we're almost out of time. So that's hopefully a good review for Bradley there as well. Thank you, Bradley, for writing in. And I think we're about going to wrap up with a holiday thought or two for you, a quotation from, well, I had a couple quotations. I tried to look for something that was sort of cheery and holiday-ish, sort of ho-ho-ho-y, and I couldn't really find one. Something about being grateful. So let me just say, first of all, well, I'll save that for the end. We should all be grateful. But let's talk. I found a couple quotes that I thought were good anyway. One from my friend from Seth Godin, and another from Albert Einstein. And these will maybe put you in the mood, head you in the right direction. So this is the first one. This is really, well, I'm not sure how to go about this. Yeah, let's talk about this one as a wish for you for 2015. This is a wish for you and how you think about these things. If you've listened through this show or you listen to these podcasts, you know that I'm about early stage entrepreneurship. I'm really trying to help those of you who are new to this get from nothing to something. It's what I do. I really, literally trying to help people. I'm not making money doing this. I'm trying to help. So here's a quotation from Seth Godin that I thought might be a good guidepost for 2015. It goes like this. Start your first business this way. Begin with the smallest project in which someone will pay you money to solve a problem they know they have. Charge less than it's worth and more than it costs. Repeat. Okay? So that idea is what I'm trying to get across to all of you. And he goes on to say, you don't have to wait for perfect or large or revered or amazing. You can start. Let me say that again. Start your first business this way. Begin with the smallest possible project in which someone will pay you money to solve a problem they know they have. Charge them less than it's worth and more than it costs you. Repeat. You don't have to wait for perfect or large or revered or amazing. You can start. This is the antidote to analysis paralysis. It's what I talk about all the time, is having a bias toward action. Get out there and do it. All the planning in the world isn't going to make a difference until you get out there and confront some real-life customers, some real-life obstacles, and learn what it really means to hit publish on that blog post. Start your first business this way, Seth says. Begin with the smallest possible project. That's right, keep it small. Something you can accomplish. Don't overwhelm yourself. Begin with the smallest possible project in which someone will pay you money. Excellent. Yeah, not just a small project, but something somebody will pay you. Why would they pay you? To solve a problem they know they have. Pick a problem they have, something you can solve in the smallest possible way. Then charge them for it. Charge them less than it's worth so that they get a deal and want to come back and tell their friends, but more than it costs you so they make a small profit. If you can crack that nut and repeat it, you can start. That's good advice, I think, and I like the way he said that, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. Now, my other quote, so that's my advice for 2015. Pick something small that you can start that will help someone else at a profitable margin, and then repeat as much as you can, over and over and over and over. And that's the beauty of, the lifestyle business principles in the Click Millionaires book. We talk about software and outsourcing and scalability. These are the lifestyle business principles that are in here, and I'd recommend everybody review them from time to time because they really can make a difference, and that's the kind of thing that Seth is talking about too. Next, I want to close with a quote from Albert Einstein, who you probably know. Albert Einstein, this is a short one. I'll say this all in one breath. I think this may be the key to success. And this is another one of the lifestyle business principles, actually. Here it is from Albert Einstein. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. That's the key to this whole thing. In fact, it's lifestyle business design principle #1 from my book, Help Others. Be of value. The #1 way to be a success, and here I'm quoting myself, is to look past your own need to make money and find a need where you can help other people. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. If you can find a way to be of value to other people, and then implement it on that basis that I just talked about that Seth Godin recommended, starting small and profitable and repeating, that's the formula for success in 2014, 15, and beyond. And I hope that's helpful to you. So that's my Merry Christmas wish for you, my Happy New Year's wish, really, I guess. And we'll be talking more in the coming year about all those things. And I really appreciate your being here. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. Sheila and everybody else that's watching here now and in the podcast replays and on YouTube and clickmillionaires.com and iTunes and everywhere else these broadcasts go out. It's been a great year. I hope that it's been good for you. And if it hasn't, next year has 1,000% potential to be better for you. And if we can help, I'd be happy to do that. I'm Scott Fox from clickmillionaires.com, and I wish a very happy holidays for you and everyone in your life and everyone else too. Thank you for being here, and Happy New Year. Ho, ho, ho.